Hello, everybody. Alan Wang with Alan Wang Realty Group at Keller Williams, Santa Clara Valley. Wishing you and your families an amazing 2023. I can't believe we're in November, if you can believe that. Well, this year is totally blown by. I'm excited to talk about our November Silicon Valley real estate update. I will cover quickly the recent lawsuit as thank you for those of you that sent that over to me. And of course, our typical market update. Without further ado, let me share my screen. And the title of my speech today is going to be about competing forces at play, which I think is a great topic or title for what's going on in the marketplace. Quickly, I want to talk about the Bernett versus National Associations of Realtors case. There's certainly a monetary judgment here, and they really want to be clear that that fees are not mandated, that fees are negotiable, which always has been the case. I'm not quite exactly sure, why they're ruling there. But this real estate corporation system has been in place for 115 years. Again, that doesn't mean that it's perfect. It doesn't mean that that's the right answer per se, but that marketplace has been in effect for 115 years. For those of you that are not aware how this works, typically the sellers will pay a fee to the listing agent as well as a fee out to the buyer's agent for the buyer's agent to represent the buyers to purchase their home. So what this does is it creates a marketplace. So the fee that's put out, buyer's agents represent multiple buyers because most of the time us listing agents don't have the buyer for this house. And even if we did, I would only be one person. And what you want is a lot of people seeing your home, falling in love, getting represented, doing their due diligence, keeping everyone out of lawsuits, putting the right offer in, and then a smooth cooperation between the two parties to make sure that a deal goes through. But why is this so important? It's important because there are competing forces here. If I'm a seller, I want top dollar. I want no contingencies. I want the house to close as quickly as possible. If I'm a buyer, I want the complete opposite. I want the lowest price as possible. I want the longest terms I can get to get my due diligence done. I want the longest close times generally possible. A lot of inspections, which the sellers don't want you to do. And so there's competing interests. And having a listing agent represent the seller and a buyer's agent represent the buyer, the two minds come together and form a deal and get the home sold. That works for everybody, creating a win-win. But to be frank, not much is changing. There have always been choices. If you hire an agent today, you bring an agent 2 or 3 coming in, there's going to be different varying levels of people that come in. If you're looking for the cheapest deal possible, there will be, I'm sure, some brand new agent who's never sold a home before or wants to do it for a lower price, but doesn't necessarily offer a lot of services. There's always that person out there, always. Today, without this lawsuit, you can find that person today. There might be somebody in the middle that perhaps doesn't offer a ton of services, maybe has sold a few homes. You might want to hire that person. And then there's that full service agent who's been doing it a long time, has a system, has everything all packaged for you and handles everything. You have that agent. So you pay a little bit more for that service because you're paying for the experience, you're paying for the service level, you're paying for the package, you're paying for the knowledge. I kind of equate it to an accountant. We've all know trying to find a good accountant is quite difficult. You can always buy a software package from Costco and do your taxes. Or you can hire the typical accountants that we all find, which is, let me just punch everything in and here's how much you owe. Or you might want a strategist, someone who actually keeps up with the code, the latest IRS code and laws and changes, and has figured out how to maximize your situation with the tax code and ending up saving you a lot more money in taxes. And those are the type, and that's the kind of accountant that I have, and that's the kind of group that we are. We tailor your specific real estate needs, and we have a package, a lot of services, and we have the system built so that we can net you top dollar. And that's what you're hiring when you hire us, for example. But again, there are always choices out there for you. Now, remember, the seller pays fees out to the buyer's agent. And I just wanted you to imagine a world without buyer's agent. So what ends up happening? If I'm a listing agent and I list the house and a buyer comes to me, I am, again, that competing force again. I can do a pretty good job, actually, generally. Okay, I can't tell you anything. I can't tell you anything. I'm just kind of brokering the deal between the two of you. But then I'm not adding a lot of value to either party. And both parties are always suspicious. Well, whose side are you really on? Are you on mine or theirs? Creates a lot of headaches. I don't like doing dual agency, especially when there's tons of other buyer's agents ready to work. And they can handle the buyers, and I don't have to deal with the conflict. Again, fees were always negotiable. In the Silicon Valley, fees are already lower than the rest of the nation, believe it or not. They've already started adjusting that already, and it's been that way for quite a while now. But again, the system's not perfect, but my question for the Department of Justice is, what new system are you going to put in its place? And there's been no answer about that. It's just about kind of changing the way we have dialogue on the topic. But that being said, as soon as the lawsuit is being fought by Keller Williams and Berkshire Hathaway, as soon as the judgment was made, we will appeal this, of course, and that'll be, and we'll see, we believe that there are facts that were not presented, and so we want to be appealing that. Now, as soon as the ruling was made, the Department of Justice would immediately went after multiple other brokerages. And so we're not immune. They're going to go for everyone else. Of course, they're going to try to get monetary judgment and try to get a similar outcome. But we will be appealing this decision. But to be frank, nothing changes. You always have options to pay what you want to pay. If you want to experiment with offering something different, that's up to you. As a seller, that's completely up to you. Fast forwarding to the market today, as you all know, the buyers have been adjusted to rate environment for most of all of 2023. They woke up and said, I'm ready to buy. I need a house. I can't wait. It is what it is. If it's 6.5, 7, I need to do what I have to do. Inventory remains historically low. I've talked to multiple top teams around the nation, and it is a struggle for all of us. We're all down about 50% in the amount of families that we help, which means we have 50% less homes to sell. We have 50% less buyers to represent. And that's the reality of the situation. And you remember supply and demand. Low supply means higher prices, especially when demand goes up. And so the multiple offers are back. And it depends on what market you're in. You heard me always say the tale of two markets. There's a prime market where your home is in a great school district, and then there's the ones that are not. And so if you're in a great school district, close to the office, these are prime homes. Doesn't matter if you're a condo, townhome, single family home, your home will sell. So in a week or two on the market, multiple offers, your home will sell for top dollar if you price it properly. On the flip side, until the secondary market, if you're not supported by a great school or the school district, I would say if you're a single family home between 1.5 to 2 million, still going to do great. That's still such an affordable bracket. People love single family homes. If you're a townhome or condo, you may be on the market a little bit longer. All depends on how you price it, but these two sectors are struggling a little bit more than the single family home sector. I always cover 4 economic trends that I monitor. Number 1 is inflation. Number 2, mortgage rates. Number 3, the stock market. And number 4 is employment. Inflation, as you all remember, June 2022, inflation hit 9.1%. Federal Reserve said, nope, absolutely not. Gotta increase the interest rate to stop this behavior. So the interest rate was brought down in February of this year to 6%, then April 5%, May 4%, June 3%. And that was kind of lowest it got. And then July kind of irked up a little bit to 3.2%, then inched up another little bit in August, 3.7%, held at 3.7% in September, still waiting for the October data. Now things are kind of out of control. They'd really prefer to see it between 2 to 3%, but the Federal Reserve has decided to hold rates at the moment with an option to increase by the end of the year if needed. So certainly they're watching this trend. And if it keeps going up, I think they might do another rate increase. If it's holding steady, perhaps they hold as well. Rates, 7.76%. This is an interest rate that is a conforming rate. This is what most of the nation has to use. And that means a rate that's kind of a lower price point loan. Now, in our area, we do jumbo loans. So as far as jumbo loans are concerned, that rate's lower. This is a Wells Fargo home mortgage chart today. 6.973% is the 30-year fixed. If you pay 1%, you will bring it down to 6.875%. A lot of banks have what's called assets under management programs or relationship discounts. So if you bring in funds outside of the down payment into the bank, they will lower your interest rate. Talk to me more offline about that. There's quite a bit of options there to get a better rate. But the jumbo rate in and around 7%. NASDAQ. Why is the NASDAQ important? This is the down payment of the majority of tech workers in the Silicon Valley. This is their wealth. This is their down payment. In 2021, the NASDAQ, right at the tail end of COVID, increased 21%. But then last year, 33% decrease from June to December. That market, when the inflation rates hit and the Federal Reserve increased rates, everyone was scared. And so the NASDAQ dropped 33% during that time. You probably remember your stock portfolio at that time. And then this year, as of today, the market's back up 30% from the beginning of the year. That is a net gain of 18% since COVID. So I guarantee you that buyers feel better about their stock portfolios, and that's why they're buying houses. Unemployment, 16% during COVID, was hovering around 4.5, inched up to 4.6 and now 4.7. And the reason for that is there are still layoffs going on around the Silicon Valley. LinkedIn was the latest one to announce layoffs. And so you're seeing that here in the tech jobs that have been lost. Bulk of it happened in January this year, a little bit in October, and then in November as well. We typically see a few more in November, December, where a lot of the layoffs happen. But we shall see how things go. But I have not seen a red flag on tech layoffs. I haven't seen sellers fire selling their homes because they got laid off. Even if they do, they will get most likely a little break even or a little bit of profit, depending on when they brought their homes. So I think they're okay, is my point. You're not going to see a short sale or foreclosure situation simply due to the inventory situation. They're going to do fine on value. So I would say yellow flag, something to monitor, but not much to see here as far as that's concerned. Projections, of course, macroeconomics, inflation is down but stubborn. We got to keep an eye on that. If it inches up any bit more, the Federal Reserve might just raise rates again. And NASDAQ's recovered for now, which is good news. As a seller, I would say, again, remember, inventory is historically low. The market is on your side. If you're in that prime market, you're going to get multiple offers again. If you're in the secondary market, it kind of depends. You got to price it properly. It should still sell if we price it right. But if you're in that cusp where a buyer could say, well, if I paid a little bit more, I'm in that school district, you might sit on the market a little bit longer and have to work out a deal. I always like to price the home properly and verify that I have enough interest before I arbitrarily set dates. It's kind of embarrassing if you set a date and nobody comes in to write the offer. So always being careful to diligently work the leads that you have. But as a seller, again, we're hitting that fall season, the fall/winter, where folks are heading on vacation and holidays, less buyers around. So if you don't need to sell right now, maybe hold off. If you really, really have to sell right now, there's a couple windows we might be able to squeeze you into. Call me for an analysis. As a buyer, markets turn. If you're looking for a deal, that was last year. That was June, December last year. If you weren't brave enough to buy then, it is what it is. You're now in the herd here with everyone else fighting for homes. Prices have recovered. They're on the way up. And again, we're mostly competitive again. However, the same seasonality for the sellers applies to you. Buyers might be gone. You might have less competition. You might have a little bit more opportunity out there. Again, call us and we'll see how we can help. Again, my name is Alan Wang with Alan Wang Realty Group. Thank you for listening. 408-313-4352 dials my cell phone. Or you can email me at alan@alanwangrealty.com. We are always here to help you and your families, friends, colleagues with their real estate leads. We've been doing this for 20 years. I wake up every day. I love what I do. I love helping you and your families, your colleagues, friends, etc., with the biggest home purchase of their life. It's complex. There's a lot of issues that can go wrong, but you're with the right team if you call us. All right, have an amazing day. And again, thank you for listening. Bye-bye now.